Hey y'all, hey. So remember I brought that story to you guys yesterday about Dale and Gail. And after I thought about it, it reminded me of my own true life story. So I just wanted to tell y'all that because I kind of put my marriage, I don't even really consider it a marriage. I know it was a marriage on paper, but I don't really consider it a marriage. But this is what happened to me. So this man told his women, WOMEN, that I was his sister. Okay? Anybody that's super close to me kind of knows this story. Other people, I probably didn't tell them everything. So one day I happened to be at home and this lady knocked on the door, and we're going to call her Lynn for sake of keeping her name private, which I don't really care if she hears this story or not. But if she does, then I'm talking about you, girl. I ain't mad at you no more. I could care less. But this happened. So she knocked on the door. I answered the door. I'm pregnant, very, very pregnant. And I said, "Hey, can I help you?" And she goes, "I'm looking for Terrence." I said, "Well, Terrence is not here right now. Can I help you?" She was like, "Well, no. I guess I was just in the neighborhood. I just thought that I would stop by and all of that." And I said, "Lynn, you been in my house?" She was like, "Well, yeah, because Terrence told me this was his house and that his sister and her kids live with him." So I turn and I look at the wall and all the pictures in the living room are of me and my kids because that's my house, his sister. I said, "So let me get this straight. You think that I'm his sister and this is his house? If that was the case, why are all the pictures in the living room pictures of his sister and her kids? Why aren't there pictures of him or pictures of his mom and his dad and all these other people? You didn't think that was weird?" I don't know. I said, "You've been sleeping with my man, my husband?" No. I prayed and I said, "God, something is not right. Please show me." And God showed me a picture of rings. And so I knew that he was married. I could feel it. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, he is married and he's not here. But I let him know that you came by." Close the door. A couple weeks later, I'm at church. At my church. Who walks in? Lynn. They're doing the offering and they put up pictures of events that have transpired throughout the year. My wedding picture pops up. Lynn is walking down the aisle at this time because she had just given her offering. She sees the picture of me and Terrence in our wedding picture. She goes, "He's married?" So Lynn, it wasn't enough that you knocked on my door, saw the pictures of me and my children on the wall, saw that I was pregnant, saw that I had on a wedding ring, told you that was my husband. You could even go look up the wedding records and all of that. You still didn't believe that he was married. So I was pregnant and I was feisty. And those of y'all who know me, a lot of my friends on here used to work with me, and they know when I was pregnant with Malachi, I was hateful. And so I told the church mother, I said, I'm finna stomp a hole in her, y'all. I was so pregnant. And she was like, no. God don't want you to do that. God don't want you to do that. I said, God ain't got nothing to do with this. I said, this heifer done been in my house, and now she done come in my church. No, I'm going to say something. And the pastor's wife was like, no. She's a good person. She would never do. I said, that heifer been in my house. She's been in my house. She's been in my bed. She's sleeping with my husband. So apparently you ain't left him alone because you done come to church. I don't know how she got to the church, whether she knew I was there, he was there, or she just happened to know somebody in there. I don't know. So we get to the back. I go to the back. She comes in there. I said, let me holler at you. Very pregnant. I said, you done effing my husband? I said that in the church. God forgive me. She goes, I would never. I said, you did. I said, but you can have him if you want him, because I don't want him. So I just want to tell. So Lynn, you know who you are if you see the story. I hope y'all had a good life when y'all got back together. So that is part one of my husband telling a woman I'm his sister.